Hello everyone and welcome back to Chronosplays Apollo Justice. Today, it's a diary, clearly, Judge. It says it right there, diary. This is the victim's magnificent Gamma Ray's diary. Diary? After going to the hustle, Magnifi began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and the meeting of his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end, and quite appropriately, with his death. Wait, this book doesn't have any, say what the reason was, does it? The reason for his death? You mean the terminal cancer? Or the fact that he wanted his students to shoot him? Which I would assume is directly involved with the fact that he was bedridden and terminally ill. The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse him. Oh, well, yeah, okay, maybe. Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night, even after the IV had begun at 11 o'clock p.m. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, victim. The old man. I don't know why my brain, when he said victim, I thought you meant shooter. Let's read it, shall we? I was gonna say, if the shooter was clearly ripped there, if the shooter wrote in his diary, that'd be a little, you know, hard evidence, I guess, against the shooter. It does appear to have been written just before his death. The night's evidence is alright, cool. The court accepts this into evidence. Maybe I can actually go look at that now. Oh, read the very last part with particular care. The night's IV is in, maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first comes soon. The journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. And I can't read that. I don't know how to close the text window. Apparently we can't read it either. No clues here. Are you fucking... Open the book! Thank you! All that left is mine to lay down this pen. Oh, this is the last page. The diary ends here. I mean, does it though? Huh. What's this? It looks like a page was ripped out. Well now, isn't that interesting? I mean, yeah. Yeah, it seems my clock will make me wait a little longer, at least only less than 10 swift minutes. To all those who have supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell. This journal may begin. Yeah, I just read this, of course, by his. He refers to our defendant, Zach Gamma Rays. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor, after all. But look what he said before that. This journal may end here, or it may go on. It may go on. Magnifi Gamma Ray intended to write again. That is... Oh... that journal... Okay. So the title for this is 7 years ago, Falsified Evidence. So is this the falsified evidence? Interesting. If Zach Gamma Ray didn't pull the trigger... I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on. It ends. Ends with a rip, though, because Magnifi's life was brought to an end by the defendant Zach Gamma Ray. I mean, if that is your evidence, and there was a clear ripped out page, your evidence would be scrutinized to the point that it is not decisive evidence, nor would it convince anyone of anything. Because clearly something was ripped out on purpose. Are you certain that Magnifi's Gamma Ray wrote this? There's no mistake in his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnifi did intend to continue his diary. Yet if his diary ended here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zach Gamma Ray. Well, how do you like me now here, right? I don't know, you're blind. Still too green for your taste? He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with this precious evidence. Well, Mr. Wright... Oh, excuse me, Southern singer stuck in my throat for a second. The witness testimony we heard was lacking. But put together with this evidence, it seems quite significant of the case. Are you all blind? The diary's accepted like this, the trial's over. Huh, maybe it's time for to show them something, show evidence. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? Chronos was mumbling too much. You have some evidence that overturns this diary? Huh. It's not too late to rethink this and avoid more embarrassment. Very well, please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think about showing this diary to us, I've just shown it to the court. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. You mean like the fact that there's a page ripped out of the book? Show some evidence to prove the victim continued writing in his diary. The page is written from his, ripped from his book. What, are you fucking stupid? Okay, of course they stupid. I'm glad this court isn't like the standard court system in America. Good God. The court system in America has its own problems for sure, but good God. If that notebook diary was shown in court with a clear ripped page out of it, and the decisive evidence was it stopped here, oh, don't mind that rip mark on the next page, it clearly stopped there, then they would be like, this is fucking stupid. So why do you think this is decisive evidence? Alright, I'd be happy to. Decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is, I'm guessing this, which is, I'm assuming, going to be falsified given the title of this chapter. So here you go. First, take a close look at this diary. Note that the page has been clearly ripped out, thus invalidating this evidence, because you all would be very stupid to accept this as evidence. What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all. That's why we're still here talking about this. You idiot. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Alkali, I don't believe it! Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnifique Emery. That's the defense position. Wait. Let me see that. Uh-huh. What's in Sam Hill? Why, this is the continuation of the victim's diary. Does his hand style writing even look similar? Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page of Magnifique's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, Herr Attorney? No, the diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Emery left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor. Father Gemery. No, cute buddies. This handwriting, too, matches that of the other pages. This is without a doubt the genuine article. Order! But wait! This is impossible! The old man couldn't have written that!
Objection!
Finally, you just couldn't resist, could you, Herr Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Herr Judge? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? Prosecution would like to call a new witness. But Prosecutor Gavin... Oh, Gavin, you son of a bitch. Was it actually you that set up the falsified evidence? I thought maybe it was your brother because he was the asshole, but... Yeah, okay, so when she first stared at him in shock, Vera, in present day, I thought for sure that she thought he was his brother, because they look very similar. But if you instantly know this is falsified evidence, then I feel like you had a hand in it. This evidence overturns the current witnesses. I have someone to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor. Is it gonna be, not gonna be Vera, right? That would be weird. Is it gonna be Drew? Well, if you put it that way, Mr. Wright, what's your take on this? Oh, Your Honor. Judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway, so it might as well be sooner. Then, though this is highly, highly irregular, like every case in this court, we'll put the current cross-examination on hold. The witness may stand down. For now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring the surprise witness to the courtroom. I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped-out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Holding trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin. I beg the court's understanding. But I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The details of a testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say? I thought it best to contain the information to this room. Very well, and you are the witness, I gather?
Yes, sir.
State your name and occupation for the record.
My name is Drew Missum. I'm a painter.
A painter, and you are somehow related to this case?
No, well, not per se.
I have one simple question for the witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is?
Oh, yeah. I know it well.
How's that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I made it.
You... what? You made it?
Yes, you might call it one of my works.
The prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Gameray. Illegal evidence? I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He is skilled at making perfect reproductions of certain things.
Forgeries, in other words.
Forgeries? Well, so we are to understand that this page here is a fake, prepared by a certain defense attorney.
Objection!
Hold it! I didn't prepare this evidence.
Objection!
This attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume. But what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you presenting this evidence to us, Phoenix Wright. Witness, Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client?
That I don't know.
What?
Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. That's the extent of my contact with them.
Objection!
But there's no proof this is a fake.
Well, it's a fake. To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine.
Hey, what's the mark? What is the mark? Mr. Wright, you have just presented illegal evidence to this court. My court. What's the mark? You can't just say there's a mark on it without showing it. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. I mean, it is. Oh boy. Here. It was Trucy all along. Put her in handcuffs, Apollo. What's this? Oh, I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in blue suit with the spiky hair. They said it was really important. It was a trap. A fatal trap. That little... Mr. Wright. Yeah. You have an explanation for yourself. If I did, would this court hear it? Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime, and presenting it in court is a serious matter. A fatal mistake for... Oh, a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forged evidence? The answer is quite clear. A guilty one.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. I understand presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime, but you cannot hold my client responsible for the actions I undertook as an individual, gasping for air. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor. Another close call, I did say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you wanted it to, yeah? I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. To be fair, if the court was going to accept a clearly tampered with piece of evidence, it isn't all embarrassing. Embarrassing presenting evidence like that? Absolutely, that is embarrassing. You shouldn't. A fucking 8-year-old girl gave you a piece of paper that you used as evidence and with no explanation where it came from. That's stupid. You don't do that. But at the same time, any legitimate court system would look at that diary and be like, this has been tampered with. What's going on? And not accept it as fucking evidence. Like, at least in terms of decisive evidence. I see no further need for discussion on this matter. Special witness dismissed.
I'm still here.
Mr.
Attorney,
Yeah?
could I ask your name?
Phoenix Wright.
Mr. Wright. I have seen and studied many people, but none like you. I'll remember you, Mr. Wright.
Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over. You have the right to a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must... Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Zack? My name's Gamery, but sure. There's one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. It is impossible. I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you. Except, tell me, how do you plan on announcing a verdict when your defendant does not exist? Doesn't exist? What are you talking about? I'm talking about this. Mr. Enigma. Oh yeah, that's right, his last name is Enigma. The defendant escaped. Find him quick! Bailiff, close all exits from the building. On the double, he must not be allowed to escape. It's a pretty handy trick. That day in the courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shady Enigma, aka Zack Gamery, did not just escape from court. He literally, unbelievably vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again, not since that day. This is the Gamery miracle. No verdict was declared, so he was right. After all, the defendant didn't exist. And that's how it happened. The trial of the magician Zack Gamery vanished along with him for all eternity. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later. To be continued. Yeah. There you go. The Mason system. Okay. That's a jury system, right? That trial 7 years ago was the beginning of it all. This I know beyond a doubt. The mysteries of the past work their magic on the present, but you'll soon be finding all this out for yourself. Don't want to give you spoilers. Which of Magnifi's Gamery's disciple pulled the trigger? Where did the vanishing defendant Zack Gamery go? What dark truth lurks behind this forged diary? Was it this little girl all along? And what about the girl who was left behind? Well, she turned out... I don't want to say alright. She turned out... kind of a thief. maybe a little bit of a psychopath. The past left us these 4 keys to unlocking the truth. But that's not all. We're apparently in a different game now. We actually kind of look like we're going into like either Dot Hack or Digimon right now. There are 4 keys in the present as well. When all the questions have found their answers, the final trial will begin. But first, you must chase the truth through then and now. Think of it as a game. Hi, I'm AI Phoenix. Oh my god, are you actually AI Phoenix? I, Phoenix Wright, will be your guide through this game. That terrible trial saw me present forged evidence. It ended, half finished, when the defendant vanished. What became of me after that? Well, a lot of alcohol, and drugs, and hookers, and a piano. As your investigation proceeds, the answer will become clear. Hopefully not that hooker part, or the drugs part. Oh, and one more thing. There is something I must tell you. As Apollo Justice has his bracelet, so too do I have my own weapon of sorts. My Magatama. This increases my stats when I level up. It is kind of related to a demon, though. What does it do, you ask? That I would have you see for yourself. And if you don't know, you haven't played the other games. Which, I guess that's not really important jumping into this game from the other ones, as they're not really connected. It is a little weird, though. But shall we? Use the LB right B to jump between past and present. Let's begin 7 years ago. In the past. Wait, really? Okay. Is this Chrono Trigger now? Like, it is right after my last trial came to an abrupt end. Now that you know the game, let's play. Okay. Let's go home. Let's start that drinking. The nightmare trial was over, and the new nightmare of figuring out what had happened had just begun. I wanted to wake up and walk away, but I figured I'm the only one who could do this, probably. And besides, I had plenty of time. Thanks to the Bar Association Reviews Board's decision, it's hard to work when your attorney's badge has been taken away. 7 years ago, Writing Code Law Office. Oh, morning, Daddy. Ah, I'm so glad you came. With the forged evidence, so it probably was him that actually did it, huh? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's weird. Because right now, fucking Gavin looks guilty as fuck to me. So what about the tip he received? Yeah, that's easily made up, just like a fucking ripped up diary page, yeah? Oh, what was that? 2 weeks had passed since then, and I called her to my office. Trucy, there's something we need to talk about. It's been 2 weeks, since you looked at me, and since your father had disappeared. We need to start thinking about your future. I did some calling around, and no one wants you. Not even the orphanage, which is very surprising. You have no living relatives also. Sorry for your loss. So, I was wondering if you wanted to stay with me for a while. Just until your daddy comes home. It won't be long. I mean, if her daddy came home, she would probably still not see him that often because he would be arrested immediately, I hope. Of course, it's totally your choice. If you don't like, you can always go wherever you like to go. She's fucking 8, dude. Just noticed that you're here, Christoph. 15? That's not right. Oh, is this past Apollo? Okay. What are you? This is 7 years ago? You're 22? Okay. Sure. I can look up some places you might like to stay at. This is so weird. Mr. Attorney, Daddy told me about you. He said I could trust you. Huh? Really? So if I stay here, does that mean you'll be my family? I guess so? Getting weirder. Mr. Attorney? Actually, why don't you just call me Nick? Or you can call me Daddy if you'd like. No, you can't. Oh God, no! Don't do that. It doesn't have to be today or anything. Okay, let's say Daddy. That was quick. Yeah. If I move here, I have to switch schools, right? And I was thinking I haven't paid for lunches at my. So I haven't paid for lunches at my last school for a year. So thanks, Daddy. Oh, and this office, it's a little blah. A little color goes a long way, don't you think? Oh, and Daddy, you got fired from work, right? Don't you worry one bit. I'll work twice as hard. We'll make it through this. Trucy, how old are you? Oh, I'm 8. But don't let appearances deceive you. I'm a young professional. Stick with me and you'll do just fine, Daddy. Where's Maya and Pearl? Why does it feel like she's already in charge? Because that always happens to you. You can still see that hotel from the window. Every time I look out, I think back of the old cases. I wonder if the view looks different now that I'm not wearing my old badge. I really dig the far-out view, Daddy. Ah, thanks. She must have learned a lot of words from her parents. My mentor's favorite plant, Charlie. I guess watering Charlie's my only real job now. Wait, I have a child now. I can't feed Trucy like this. Oh, she probably needs more than just the occasional watering, too, I'm guessing. That would be fucking weird, you're right. An old movie poster hangs on the wall. I finally found out the title after not knowing for the longest time. I actually rented the movie the other day. Cried my eyes out. Just thinking about it is making me tear up. Wait, is it just allergies? I should show it to her when she's a little older. Wait, what was it called again? Oh my God. My desk. Not that I have any reason to sit there anymore. I guess Trucy can use it. It's great for studying math, English, and geography and magic. I'm not crying. I just get dust in my eyes. Quite the collection of law books. My mentor bought all of them. I used to be too busy to read them. Now that I have the time to read them, there's no need. But I can't just sell them. Maybe Trucy will want to read them someday. Nah. You could read them, and then you could sell them. Talk. The Office. So, Daddy, you got fired from being a lawyer, right? You could at least kind of look aside or something when you say that. It's actually kind of hard for me, for Daddy. Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. Wait, is that foolish pride? My other daddy always used to talk about that. Actually, that's pretty accurate. So here's my idea. We'll make a new office. Law just seems so stiff, doesn't it? And no one will be my friend at school that way. Well, that won't do, I guess. I just don't know much about anything other than law or anything, actually. Or even much about law if you would ask some people. Maybe the problem is calling it an office. We should run an agency instead. Oh, you mean like a talent agency? Forgive me for asking, but doesn't that require talent? Oh, you got me, don't you? I'm a professional. A professional? Yep. After all, I'm a directly descendant from the famous Zach Gamery. Directly descendant? He's your father. Oh. Oh, now I'm directly descendant from the famous Phoenix Wright, too. No, you're not. No. I think the 8-year-old just massaged my ego. Yeah, but if we're a talent agency, we can get a casting coach. Could you tell me a little bit more about your daddy, Zach Gamery? Oh, Daddy? Sure thing, Daddy. Which daddy was that again? Daddy Soul Mason. He's the biggest star of the troupe Gamery, and they're big. The Gamerys, they were on television a lot. Haven't seen them on much recently, come to think of it. Big magic happens when you put Zach and Gamery together, you know. Once they made a giant waterfall right there on stage. And the giant trout swam up the giant waterfall. Let me guess, there was a giant fisherman waiting for him at the top. I wish I could have seen more of Daddy's magic. I shouldn't have brought that up. I wonder what will happen to me with Daddy and Mummy both gone. Mummy? Yeah, about her mummy. What about her mummy? I haven't heard anything about Trucy's mother. But I have my magic and a great daddy, even if he is unemployed. You know, I think things are going to be okay. I wonder if she'll talk about her mother. Maybe? So, Trucy, you're a professional. Yes. It's like that thing they say. Baby frogs grow up to be frogs. They say that? I always thought it was funny though. What was? Aren't baby frogs called tadpoles? Maybe they thought it would be easy to understand that way for kids? How stupid. Right. So in conclusion, you're a professional magician, Druzy.
Oh, that's right. Well, want to see a trick?
You're going to do a magic trick. Yeah, go ahead. Actually, I would love to. I'd like to see your tricks. The future of the agency depends on it, after all.
Oh, that's the spirit. Ready? Here goes. Ta-da!
Oh my god.
She hasn't gotten any better at it. She hasn't gotten better at.
You can see her still using the thing to make the Hat Man talk. 7 years and you still aren't that good at it. My god.
Hey, folks, it's Mr. Hat. I gotta say, it's good to be seen.
Yar. Whoa. That was startling.
The amazing Mr. Hat, isn't he great? Your friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat is at your service.
He certainly makes an impression.
Doesn't he? I'm so glad you like him, Daddy. Though my routine do get a bit heady at times. Ha, get it? Heady.
My friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat nearly gave me a heart attack. The amazing Mr. Hat is headed.
Okay.
Why, though? Yep. Okay, that's it. Mummy? Could you tell me about your mother, if it's okay?
Mummy was so pretty. She was like an angel up on stage.
On stage, you mean? With your daddy?
Yep. She was always there with Zach and Valen smiling. But then she went away.
Went away?
It was a grand illusion, but she made a mistake. She vanished, and I guess she didn't know how to get back.
Maybe so.
I cried then a lot. That's when Daddy gave me this here.
What a weird photo. This is your mother. She's beautiful.
Yes?
Chronos. Well, I was just saying. The photo is not that good. Her name is... Oh, fuck off. Okay, her name is... Thalassa? Thalassa? Yeah, Thalassa Gamari. Poor girl. Can't even pronounce her own mother's name. And I didn't know her mother was missing. And now her daddy vanished too, right before her eyes.
Hey, Daddy, you won't.
Don't worry, I won't vanish. I promise.
Just runs out the door. Right, you can't even do magic. You're like a backup plan. Daddy always said to have a backup plan.
I guess all I rate as is a backup plan. Contains a photo of Teresa's mother. I think that'll probably be enough for today. Sorry to ask you so much all at once like this.
It's okay. After all, we're family. I hope you're ready. The Wright Talent Agency opens tomorrow.
What? But are we representing anyone?
Me and you. That makes two, Daddy.
I think you need more than that to make an agency. Besides, you may be a magician, but I'm no talent.
Oh, I'm sure there's something you're good at.
Well, when you put it that way...
You mean you don't have any tricks? No old standbys? This will not do. A boy should always have a trick or two out in his pocket.
Okay, I'll think of something. I know a couple of girls that can transform into dead people. Is that a trick or a talent?
That's the spirit. See you bright and early tomorrow, Daddy. Welcome to the team, Daddy-o.
The team, right. Sometimes when magicians vanish, they leave something behind. That's how Trucy became Phoenix Wright, my daughter. To be honest, I was pretty lost for those first few days. Thinking back on it, it was a pretty dark time in my life. But Trucy's happy, smiling. Trucy was my light. She's very good at bottling up her emotions, or she's dense, one or the other. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought I was gonna have to go in some sort of order outside of the right code. I guess we can just start up top then? Next time? Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all then. Bye.